So that was a great way to kick it off. I'm happy with them not putting the belts on Mustache Mountain because of, I mean, let's just be honest, Mustache Mountain or British Strong Style as a collective with Pete Dunne are Triple H's boys, and, but Tyler Bate and Trent Seven are so over that they don't need belts to, make to further establish them. I mean, they are indeed former NXT Tag Team Champions, not NXT UK Tag Champions, but NXT Tag Champions. So, they got their pop, and, eventually I'm sure they'll win the UK Tag titles as well. But for now, I like the team of, of Gibson and Drake holding the titles. So, next we got the surprise of the night, which was Finn Balor versus Jordan Devlin. Student versus teacher, pretty much. That's kind of the way it was brought up once it was surprised that Balor was going to be replacing the regularly scheduled opponent, Travis Banks. And that was another good match. Now you had Balor dressing he felt right at home. Whether it be that it's a NXT TakeOver event of some sort, whether it be the fact that he's back in the UK, if that made him feel any better. He just seemed, again, more at ease, more at home. It felt more authentic. You already know that, again, he smiles every time he comes out to the ring. I'm sure that's genuine and authentic. But it just seemed like, okay, well, I'm home. And that's all that matters. He was enjoying himself. And Devlin and Balor really put on another great match to follow up what was a tremendous tag team match before it. So they pretty much kept the pace going, and they really they really did a tremendous job, and Balor gets the win. And from what I understand, I don't know if he was there for the opening of the UK facility, but that would be my idea that he would have been there. No, but apparently they flew him in just for that. And someone was trying to convince me before of, well, this is going to be Balor's year. This shows how much they value him. Well, it doesn't mean anything. They've done a lot of things with The Miz, and he had a great year last year, but he's still not WWE champion. And now he's stuck in a feud with Shane McMahon as a tag team, which is ridiculous. But either way, another great match from Balor and Devlin. Now, this match I was actually really surprised about. I mean, and for full disclosure, I don't really watch a lot of NXT UK on a weekly basis. I'll catch it from time to time, but I'm not as invested with the build up to a lot of these matches. I hate to admit it, but I still get a chance to catch a lot of this stuff enough that I know what's going on. This one I had no idea anything about. I just knew Mastiff, when they were first airing him coming on, just first coming on, and I'm like, ooh, he's a big dude, that's great. I also like that he does the Vader tribute pretty much with his attire, which is awesome. Anyway, it's Dave Mastiff versus Eddie Dennis. It was a no disqualification match. This match I was actually pleasantly surprised about, because you look at Dennis, and he's a tall, lanky dude, but the guy's strong. That's unreal. They're talking about, who's the real monster in NXT UK, or You look at this guy, Eddie Dennis, and, you know, I kind of expect that to be like, Braun Strowman versus Kane, two big guys, but they're big guys. Mastiff makes a case that he's a huge dude. Like, he's bulky. So, but when Eddie Dennis had him above his head, Dave Mastiff, and carrying him like across the ring, like, that's unreal. Like, you could kind of look at him and see Finn and Charlotte were at the UK Performance Center Open. Okay, that makes sense then. That definitely makes sense then. Okay, so, oh man, my neck and back are killing me. So, that makes sense. But anyway, so this match was a pleasant surprise. I had no idea of the feud building up, and this is what I like about WWE's video packages for the most part, especially NXT. They do such a good job on the video packages building up to the match that you really you feel like you're already all caught up. And you understand what's going on here in the match. And the match was really good. Dave Mastiff getting the win. And we'll kind of see where that goes from there for those two, I guess. Next was a match between, here we go, Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm for the NXT UK Women's Championship. It was nice as a fan to see Toni presumably in good spirits. I don't know if that's just because she's a performer and doesn't know any better, where she's not going to seem out of place or shooken up. She just got back on Twitter today. She just reactivated, or within the last day or two. No DQ match was the third match in their series. Okay, again, I don't watch it on the regular basis, NXT UK, so I don't know. So, and I guess they're doing a best of 5 then, right? Or a best of 7 series. That makes sense. Still really good match though. And now that I know that there's probably going to be more, I'll more than likely tune in to watch it, because again, that was pleasantly surprising. I wouldn't be surprised at another takeover they wind up doing another match of that sort, of like a stipulation match. But anyway, Storm and Ripley. Ripley, for the lack of experience she has, she's such a natural in the ring. And from the time of her debut in the first Mae Young Classic, a completely different look for Rhea Ripley then, as opposed to what they're going with her right now. But she really, she's really doing very well for herself. Oh, there goes a cat. As a talent, and you can tell her time at the Performance Center is doing nothing but benefiting her. And what benefited Rhea when she won the NXT UK Women's Championship, and when she went in this match with Toni, it just shows Toni's talent as well, that not only is she just that good in the ring, like just showcasing what she can do in the ring, she is that great talent that could help the other person look that much better, which was really, I mean, it was very pleasant to see. Excuse me. It was very pleasant to see. So that is something to have kept an eye on if you haven't watched the match already. Mastiff is now 2-0-1 in those matches. Okay. So the match was really good with Toni and Rhea. The crowd was so behind Toni, and then all of a sudden it was split, that they were rooting for Rhea and they're rooting for Toni. I like Rhea's hard rock metal gimmick, where she is being who she is. and you can tell, and it's great. Again, she's very inexperienced compared to Tony. Now, they're both 22 and 23 respectively, and Tony is already world travel many times over, Japan, England, just everything. And she has a wealth of experience. But the cat did something, take a picture. No, the cat just oh man. Can I turn the camera to see what's going on right now? Hang on 1 second. See if I can get this here. There's the kitty cat. There we go. Kind of staring at me here. before the cat was sleeping on its tower here, and just eyes closed and facing towards me. But now the cat's kind of looking at the computer like, "Ooh, this looks interesting." The cat's also very high on catnip. And on my TV in front of me, Becky Lynch is on ridiculousness. Amazing. All wrestling themed here today, with the exception of this cat. But anyway, Tony gets to win, new NXT UK Women's Champion. Now they're going to try and build a little bit more on the women's division, as they have other talents that are signed in, like Kaylee Ray, which is a great pickup for NXT UK. They had their core talents on both sides, men's, women's, tag, everything. Now they're going to be picking up other people for their game, which they want the best product possible, which I don't blame them. But at the same time, now it's going to be very interesting to see how the women's division comes together for the NXT UK. And I'm interested to see what they do with Rhea Ripley going forward from here. Will they have a rematch at another takeover? Will they... there's a lot that you can do, but I'm interested in seeing what Ripley does going forward. And also a great performance with Tony as well. And glad to see that she's got enough courage to get back on social media. It's good that you have completely distracted me. But the it's your goal now, just to distract me. I expect sound bites of this. Anyway, so yeah, great match with Tony and Ripley. Anyway, main event: Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey for the NXT. It's not the NXT UK Championship. It's the WWE UK title, which Dunne has now held over for 600 days plus. And I think today's count is 604, which is the longest reign of the modern era of any championship. Which, granted, he hasn't defended it a lot on TV, which, whatever, it happens. I get it. This is modern day WWE now. So that's, again, it is what it is, right? So, I can't really say anything one way or another about it. But he's champion for 600 days. Now he defends against Coffey. Good match. I'm sure they've had plenty of encounters with one another over in the UK. And for me, it almost seemed like, as good of a match as it was, it went on for a really long time. I would have been completely okay with it being 5 minutes shorter. But it also seemed like they were out of sync a lot. While Joe Coffey's a good wrestler, it just... something for me didn't really mesh with it. I still enjoyed it. So, I just want to... Again, really good match. The ending a lot of people were in an uproar about.